everyone, welcome back to the channel for the 9th episode of Ninjago Face Off. In this week's episode, we are comparing two of the saddest cold scenes in my opinion, those being when he transforms into a ghost in episode 48, and when he falls from the bounty in episode 97. So in this video, I'll be going through each of the scenes, explaining what I liked and what I didn't like, and also since the soundtracks are a big part, we'll be taking a look at those too, and at the end of the video, I'll be deciding which one I like the most. A lot of people are not really fans of the whole Cole fall thing, mainly because the entire thing is pointless. It really doesn't lead anywhere, and in the next episode, all Cole uses is the abandoned Earth Driller in the city to pretty much escape, and there is no real story outside of that, no real consequence to it either. However, just because the story ended up being pointless doesn't take away from how awesome the actual fall scene was. So we'll be going over that, and I'll be talking about what I love about it. First of all, I love the fact that there's just silence in this scene. It's not a huge blown out sacrifice like Zane's death or Garmadon's sacrifice or anything like that. It's a really simple scene, and the silence is really effective. Several months back, when Season 10 had finished airing in New Zealand, I made a video analyzing Season 10's themes and messages. In that video, I go more into depth about the fall and other events from March of the Oni, and it's in the My Creations and Projects playlist if you want to check it out. But basically, to sum up what I said in that video, the idea behind Cole's fall is that sometimes mistakes can lead to death or tragic accidents, and it's not always a huge sacrifice. I feel like the soundtrack also really works well with the scene too. It's a pretty simple soundtrack, not as complex or as dramatic as, let's say, Garmadon's sacrifice or Zane's death, although of course it is definitely dramatic in its own way, but it really helps to capture the sadness of the scene, and I also love how the overture part of the soundtrack is kind of creepy in a way, and then the sad notes really start to hit. So it's a really, really good soundtrack, and it definitely helps to reinforce the theme that these mistakes can be fatal. And going back to the idea of the scene being silent, and there is no dialogue. But yet I love how during the scene, you are supposed to infer what the ninja are thinking, and you could see each ninja's reaction very clearly. For example, Kai wants to go back and try to save Cole. Zane is more realistic and is pretty much like, it's too late, Cole's dead. Nia doesn't really know that Cole fell, and she's just focused on the Oni and tries to see her way, but then you could tell that she feels bad. While Jay also is feeling pretty sad too while he's on the ladder. But of course the main reactions would definitely be from Kai and Zane. All in all, I really love this scene, even though the whole Cole fall arc was very, very pointless and had a pretty unsatisfying conclusion. I think the scene was really, really good. So now talking about the scene where Cole becomes a ghost and is revealed to be a ghost at the end of episode 48, these scenes are different in the sense that this scene is more focused on Cole, whereas with his fall, it's about how the ninja react and respond in the present moment, and give some great character development for them. What's sad about this scene is that the ninja thought they won. I mean, they all make it out alive and physical, and then Cole runs out with the Squirrel of Jitsu, and it's revealed that he's a ghost. And I especially love the ninja's reaction to this too. I mean, they feel that they have won, and they have won in a way. They got the Squirrel of Jitsu, but you can tell at the end too that everyone is let down about this too, just by the ninja's reaction. And even at the end, when Cole is kneeling down and pretty much collapses after he says, "I'm a ghost." And those three words really hit you hard. It's especially because this was a long-lasting effect. He was a ghost for over a year, and the remainder of Season 5, all of Season 6, and the majority of Day of the Departed too. So it was a lasting effect, which I feel made this more meaningful. I know with a death scene like Cole's fall, or a fake death scene I should say for stuff like that, it's not really as effective necessarily, since they're not long-lasting effects, and it's just, bam, they're dead. So I think this was a bit more meaningful since the effect was on Cole himself. I know it was his sad scene, but where you have a scene like Zane's death or Cole's fall, it's really, the development really goes for the other ninja, whereas with this scene, since it wasn't death, Cole was the one to get the development. And yeah, the scene is just really, really sad. I love Yang laughing at the end, and just the ghostly soundtrack. It's just such a sad ending, and it really leaves the viewer sitting there like, wow, this actually happened. And it was a great step towards the mature tone that Season 5 would take on, with scenes such as Moro's death, and of course this scene too. This is definitely a really hard choice for me to make, and one of the harder choices that I've done on this series. But basically, these scenes are different in their own ways. For instance, Cole's fall focuses on the development for Nia and Kai and Zane, at least in the moment. Nia gets a lot more development later on, whereas with Cole becoming a ghost, there's not as much development in the present scene, but it would definitely set up, of course, Cole's major stories in the next few seasons, and a lot of development for Cole as well. And these scenes are different in their own ways too. I think both have superb soundtracks, awesome soundtracks that are different and fit the scene too, and In the end, I'm gonna have to go with Cole becoming a ghost as the better of the two scenes. This one just felt a bit sadder simply because it had lasting effects and longer effects too, whereas with Cole's fall, even though I said earlier in the video that even if an arc is pointless, the starting scene, the scene that started it all, can still be awesome, and I still stand by the statement. However, I feel like with Cole becoming a ghost, this led to some better character development for him, and of course, it just felt more crushing, it felt more like a defeat, and it felt even sadder to watch. One last thing, next week we are approaching the 10th episode of Ninjago Face Off, so be sure to send in your requests for this episode, and I will hopefully be doing one of them. So yeah, I appreciate your requests and the stuff that you've been sending me lately, so continue to do so. Please send it in the comment sections or Discord too, that works as well. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone ever you know, and let me know what choice you would make, whether Cole's fall or Cole becoming a ghost is the sadder or better of the two scenes. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.